Alright guys, I did exactly what it looks like. Yes, I went ahead and I bought a surplus military 5-ton, 6x6, and just like everything, there's a story behind this one. So, as you guys know from a fairly recent video, I traded in my F-350 Lariat and I replaced it with my black Denali. And it's a great truck, it's a daily driver for me, and it's what I use. I transport the kids around in it, we go to dinner, we do this, we do that, I go to Lowe's and pick up my supplies and whatever. I drive it everywhere. But the one place I don't like to drive it is into the woods. And that's because I'm still in that stage where I don't want to scratch the beautiful black finish and I don't want to, you know, just mess it up. Because you saw what I did to my F-350. I buried that thing to the axles. I just got that thing all tangled up in situations that I definitely should not have gotten it tangled up in. And so I kind of pledged that I would buy an old beater. And so I'm not going to tell you the whole long story, but I'll give you one example. I was looking for something just relatively inexpensive that was, you know, between 8 and 10 years old, that's four-wheel drive, even if it was an SUV. And I located a really nice, it's like a 2008, I think it was, 2008 Ford Explorer. And it was down in Cape Cod, which is like 3.5 hours from here. And I drove down there, the price was unbelievable. I mean, I always look for good deals, there's no secret there. The price was unbelievable. I did the deal with the guy, and literally within 10 miles of driving it, I discovered that the transmission was completely shot. The guy was not honest and in his advertisement of the vehicle, and I called him up immediately and said, hey, listen, how long have you known that this transmission was a problem? And he's like, oh, blah, 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 blah. Anyways, he goes, what do you want me to do about it? And I said, listen, if I wanted a warranty, I would have bought a new vehicle. But literally, I'm like only a few miles away from you. I want you to do the right thing. And sure enough, he did the right thing. He gave me my money back. I wasted what actually ended up turning into 12 hours, 7 or so hours of driving and all the messing around and stopping and whatever. And I had my eyes open. I'm like, well, maybe I should just buy like an older Toyota Tacoma or something that I can, you know, bring out in the woods. And then I started doing my research on military surplus stuff. Now, this thing here is way more than I need. But why not? Because the price was right. Again, we do things smart, and we try not to we try to make our dollar go as far as possible. And like always, I've got kind of a policy that I don't broadcast what I pay for things, except small things. I'm not going to tell you what I paid for this, but let's put it this way. If you were to put it on a scale and sell the scrap metal, I would probably get just about as much for the scrap metal. But let me tell you a little bit about this thing. You'll be absolutely blown away as I give you the description of what's going on with this thing. And tomorrow, I am going to do a full tour of this thing. But for now, I'm just going to tell you a little bit about it. It's a 1990 or 91, we don't know, nobody knows actually, BMW Harsco M923A2. It is 27 feet long, 8 foot 2 inches wide, and almost 11 feet tall. It has an 8 foot by 14 foot pickup body on the back with fold down bench seats. And this thing is originally designed to be a troop and supplies carrier to battlefields, essentially, and bringing materials and men to battlegrounds. And as we know, battlegrounds are not nicely paved roads necessarily, and they're not easily accessible. This thing will go virtually anywhere. So it's got, for all intents and purposes, for the general description, it's got 6 4-foot tires. It's 3 axles, all full-time, both rear axles are in drive. The front axle you can engage to make it 6-wheel drive. This thing will articulate over rocks and the most crazy terrain that you can possibly imagine. And one of my all-time favorite features of this thing, of course, is this ridiculous, insanely overbuilt winch. I can't really get a straight answer as to what this thing's rated for, because they put two different Garwood model winches on these M-Series 6x6s. They put a standard duty 20,000 pound hydraulic winch on, and they put a heavy duty winch which is rated for 40,000. Now there's a label on here, a placard that says winch assembly heavy duty, but it doesn't say what the rating is. I have an 18,000 pound worn 24 volt electric planetary winch, and this thing is twice as big as that. So I'm going to just go by the rough eyeball that this thing's the 40,000 pound winch. No, don't know for sure. But here's the catch. When I bought this thing, I bought it, and the deal that we worked out was that this thing came with a broken winch. But I know a thing or two about a thing or two, and not much more than that, but just enough to take a chance. And the chance that I took was, I can fix that winch. So suffice it to say, I fixed the winch, and the winch works perfectly. And this machine is just second to none. It's just an unbelievable battle grade military machine, and it's a lot more than I need. But it's something that I feel like I can count on in the woods, off-road, and well, I mean, maybe some of you think I might have a bit of a prepper-minded bug running through me. I don't know, maybe. So you just use your imagination what this thing can be used for. But I'm not going to get into all the details on this video. I'm tempted to, but the video will be really long, and we don't have time for that. It's getting dark out right now, and I'd rather give you a really nice tour of it tomorrow. I'll give you some basic facts about this thing. I bought this thing with 17,042 miles on it. It's about 25 years old. So you do the math on how many miles a year that is. It had 980 hours on it when I bought it. And I mean, that's, for all intents and purposes, a brand new engine. I mean, a diesel, a modern diesel anyways, doesn't even break in until 20 to 40,000 miles. So this thing is basically new old stock, but to make it even better, it was fully and entirely overhauled in 2010 by the Red River Army Depot. So what the military does, because they have unlimited funds from you and I, is they take machines like this and they'll overhaul them and basically make them brand new again. They take every aspect of the machine and they bring it up to brand new military factory specifications. And they did that at 16,999 miles, which means when I bought this thing, it had 43 miles on it. That's right, 43 miles. It has 7 tires mounted on rims, 6 on the vehicle and a spare. The nubs were still on the tires. They're Michelin's. A buddy of mine who is an equipment dealer, I brought it up to see him, and he goes, "Holy smokes, man, you got $7 grand worth of tires on this thing." So that made me feel really, really good. And I don't know, there's just so much to talk about regarding this machine. But one other little tidbit for you. I was just driving it around, and I smelled this just terrible smell of burning paint. And as it turns out, the engine, of course, has, you know, brand new paint on it. Brand new meaning it was either done in 2010 or it had just never rusted off from 1990. I would venture to guess that it was paint from 2010. But the turbocharger was freshly painted, and the smell was from the paint burning off of the turbocharger. So that's how new this thing is. And suffice it to say, I could not have bought that 10 or 15-year-old Toyota Tacoma that I was looking at for what I paid for this thing. So, I don't know. I mean, I am beyond excited about this. This is kind of the surprise that I was talking to you guys about a couple of videos ago. And tomorrow, I'm going to give you a full-blown tour of this thing. I'll pop the hood open. We'll give you a tour of the engine. I'll take a camera. I'll try to get underneath it. It's not hard to get under, that's for sure. You can sit up. You could camp out underneath this thing. There's plenty of room. My 2-year-old could walk around under it. Not that I would necessarily do that. But until tomorrow, I guess this video is going to serve as the teaser. So if you enjoyed this video, I would appreciate a thumbs up, and if you haven't already subscribed, hit the subscribe button. We are really growing by leaps and bounds and in strides, actually, and it's exciting, and I have a lot of ideas and content, and unfortunately cold weather's closing in on us, but that opens up a whole new box of tricks now, doesn't it? So guys, thanks again. Until tomorrow, or whenever I get tomorrow's video posted. You guys have a good night. We'll catch you later.